Hey, family, welcome to another episode of Why Is That So, the podcast where we ask deeper questions to unlock higher possibilities. I am your host, DeCourcy Dumas, and I am a life purpose life coach, a student of natural medicine and neuroscience. I like to begin by just basically letting you know that I'm driven by all of my personal experiences. Um, my passion for healing the human organism is one of the things that wakes me up every day. Today, I have a special one for you. I want to invite you into a conversation that could truly shift the way you see yourself. Um, Not just yourself, but your overall health and well being. Um, Today, we're talking about the brain, the body, and the powerful connection between your thoughts and your biology. Yes, I did say the brain and the body. Here's the truth: the brain is a record of the past, but through awareness and intention, you can actually rewire the brain. Um, you can you can actually change the way your body responds to life by doing this. Um, and in some cases, um, you can even begin to heal what was once believed to be unchangeable. And I know that sounds unheard of. I know that sounds unrealistic, or maybe to some of you even unbelievable. But I've seen it, I've witnessed it on more than one occasion. So if it does sound unbelievable to you, that's good, because what that means is I'm saying the right thing and I'm asking the right questions. So let's dive into it. The brain is a record of the past. Okay, it's an archive, and most people think that they're making, conscious choices day to day. But here's what science has basically proven that 95% of what you think and feel and do is automatic. It's a program. It's run by your subconscious mind, right? And your brain is simply designed to keep you safe, keep you alive, help you survive. Those are three of the primary premises for the brain. It's not to make you happy. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's kind of clear that up right now. So what it does is it holds patterns. It holds on to the patterns of the familiar, patterns from the past, um, because that's the known, right? Um, and the known feels what? The known feels safe to us. But here's the problem with that. If you have, so reason this with me, if you have 60 to 80,000 thoughts in a day, and over 50% of those thoughts are repetitive, meaning the thoughts that you had today are basically the same thoughts as you had yesterday. And if your brain keeps firing the same thoughts, and your body keeps feeling the same emotions, then it's safe to say you're living a predictable future based on a familiar past. So I could literally take your past and put it in your future and basically predict what your future is going to look like. So with that being said, let's make this more real, right? Let's just say you or someone you know experienced a trauma or an extreme difficulty or difficult moment growing up, right? Every day, their brain recorded fear, tension, hypervigilance, and survival every day. Now, 10, 20, or 30 years later, their body still reacts to the stress as if the body is still in danger, even though it's not, right? Their immune system is thrown off, it's out of balance. Their digestive system or digestion is disrupted, in sleep, you can forget about it, right? That's something that's few and far apart. The body literally has memorized that emotional state of being from that past experience, right? So the body now has become the unconscious mind. It's basically running the show, right? And that's how dis-ease can begin. The body is out of homeostasis, it's out of balance. This is the beginning of dis-ease. Now, here's the good news to this. What was wired can be unwired and rewired. Now, let's talk about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity and the possibility of change. It's a big word, neuroplasticity, but a very simple premise, very simple idea. What it means in the simple term is your brain can change. It can be rewired, right? It can literally grow new connections from one hemisphere to another. It can break old ones, and with your thoughts being the language of the brain, and they create the brain structure, right? And you have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So when you think a new thought repeatedly, right? And that thought is supported by a genuine emotion, you begin to fire off new neurons in the brain. And the old ones that don't get used, they begin to fade away, right? So you're firing new neurons, and the old ones are beginning to fade away. And in the world of neuroscience, we call that synaptic pruning, right? Because those connections are called synaptic connections. So if you've spent the last 20 years thinking, I'm not good enough, and then one day you begin to practice things like, I'm worthy, I'm enough, and yet that's backed with a powerful emotion and intention, with repetition, the brain starts rewiring itself. Not because it's pretending, but because it's responding to a new pattern. And the brain does not know the difference between an actual event that's taking place or an event that's taking place by thought alone, right? It's your beliefs that shape and create your biology. Now, that's not a fake it till you make it type of thinking. Emphatically no. So let's bring this from the brain, let's bring it down to the body. Because the body doesn't just listen to the brain, it reacts to it. Let me say that again, please. The body does not just listen to the brain, it reacts to it. When you think a fearful thought, your brain sends out the signal. It puts an alert out. It says we're in danger. The body releases cortisol, adrenaline, all the fight or flight hormones. Your heart rate increases, and blood is pulled from the organs and sent into your muscles, your arms and your legs, right? Your extremities. Your body is preparing to run, fight, or hide. It's in survival. It's not healing. And the body is equipped, every organism in the body is equipped to deal with this level of stress on the short term. But if you live in that state for the long term, your immune system shuts down. Your digestion slows and your cells can't repair it. It's like driving a stick shift and you're stuck in second gear and you never change. Well, eventually you're going to strip the clutch. You're going to burn it out, right? What's some of the side effects of that? You start to get headaches. Your body increases in inflammation, pain, and then just chronic illness, long term, ongoing. But on the flip side of this amazing coin, when you start to think in terms of loving thoughts, grateful thoughts, your brain releases oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, all the healing chemicals. This thing is amazing, man. I'm telling you. So what happens then? Your body relaxes into repair mode. It basically takes a breath. It gets a relief, right? You begin to heal. And the science is now catching up with what ancient wisdom already knew. Your internal state affects your external reality, your life, right? And this is where epigenetics comes in. And that's the study of how your environment and mindset can literally switch your genes on or off. You are not at the mercy of your DNA. You can influence how your genes express themselves through your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, which is your personality, right? The way you think, the way you act, and the way you feel. That makes up your personality. Your personal reality makes up your personal reality, your life. So, how do we actually rewire the brain and cause a shift in the body? Well, the answer starts with awareness. And that's where meditation comes in at. Meditation isn't about emptying the mind, it's about observing it. Okay? At its root, the word meditation means to become familiar with. You can't change what you're not familiar with, right? If you're not aware of something, how can you fix it? How can you repair it? How can you make a shift in it, right? So every time you sit still and breathe deeply and witness your thoughts freely without judging them, you interrupt the old programming. You interrupt old belief systems. You interrupt that dominant paradigm, those subconscious habits. And what happens then? You become the observer, not the reactor. I want to say that to you again. You become the observer and not the reactor. And in this space of awareness, you begin to reclaim your power to choose who it is you want to present to the world, right? So really quick, I want to take a moment and I want to do a quick awareness practice together with you right now, okay? And only if you're able to, right now, I want you to close your eyes and just listen to the sound of my voice, okay? I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly release it out through your mouth. Now, become aware of your body. Become aware of your thoughts, eyes closed, and just notice. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the one observing them. You are the one observing them. Now just rest there for a moment. And now gently open your eyes and come to a new reality. That's awareness. That's the beginning of change. Here's what here's what I want you to take away from this moment. I want you to realize and to know that you are not bound by your past. No matter what may have happened, no matter how horrendous it may have been, you're not bound by it. Why? Because your brain can change. Your body can heal. And it all begins with how you choose to think and feel in this very moment. It's never too late to change the way you think or the way you feel. Ask yourself this: what thoughts am I rehearsing that are keeping my body in survival? What thoughts am I rehearsing that are keeping my body in survival? And what would it look like to think a new thought, to feel a new feeling, to become someone new? What would that look like? What would that person talk like? How would they walk? How would they enter a room? Because healing isn't something you wait for. Healing is something you become. I want to say that again. Healing is not something you wait for. Healing is something you become. Thank you, each of you, for joining me today on the Why Is That So podcast. If this episode had any type of impact on you, please share it. Click the subscribe button and the link in the bio. If you want help breaking out of the old and stepping into the new, I'd love to support you with doing that. That's why I'm here. Again, click the link and schedule a discovery call with me today. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant one is today, right now. So until next time, stay curious, stay conscious, and stay free.